Ah, we have people joining. I guess it's working. All right. Is that Eric from Chicago? Type in on the chat.
Yep, that's me.
All
Can you hear me?
right. Yeah, I can.
Um, were you able to? I didn't get the links for the newest
Well,
videos.
yeah, we're repeating it today because nobody got it. I don't know what happened last time.
Okay, great, great, great. And yeah,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
already charged me for everything. That's good.
yeah, I need you to contact me about the video loops that you have.
Oh, those links. You want me to? You
Yeah.
want me to? I could put them all in one file so that you can access them.
Yeah, that's great. But I need to talk with you about them too because I want to do some innovative things with them, at different times up on my website. Okay,
Okay, no problem.
that's all right.
Yep.
I've been meaning to contact you, but if I didn't have time this week, I was going to next week. So it's kind of opportune that you're tuning in.
Yeah, no problem.
Have you tuned in any of these before?
No, I just checked on I rarely check my emails, and I saw it
Yeah,
last night, and I said,
yeah.
"Oh, I think I missed something." So then I looked about an hour ago, and I looked at all of their. I think you had one on the 15th or something. So,
Yeah, I've had probably half a dozen of them
oh, you have?
altogether. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
So
missed them.
okay, well, I think the first two kind of got fouled up on recording. Then we got it, and then for some reason nothing worked. Nobody was on live, and it didn't record any of it. So I was talking to myself the whole time. I guess it was practice. I don't know
So
how best to say
you're
that.
recording this, and this will be available later.
Yeah, you'll see on the notice there that there's a link to go to for YouTube. So you
Okay.
can you can view this live either on Zoom or on YouTube. Then you can go back on the YouTube clip and it'll be recorded there.
Okay, great, great.
Okay, so you can kind of watch as many times as you want. If you want to contact me about past ones that were recorded,
Yeah.
just get a hold of me and I'll send you the YouTube links for them. Okay,
Okay.
and yeah, let's get together on that. And I appreciate your help on on the other stuff. All right.
Yeah. Anything. Anything. So, busy during this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was 4 months that I couldn't give any seminars. Oh, we just had somebody else join. Good.
Yeah.
On
Well,
the phone.
we were lucky to get that one seminar in right at the beginning
Oh,
of.
well, I had that and I was halfway to Rock Island and your governor shut the whole state down. I had everybody at the seminar saying, "You still going to have it?" I said, "Yeah." The motel hasn't contacted me. Apparently, the only motels that were able to remain open were those that house like pilots and people from airplanes. My seminar happened to be at that one.
Oh,
So,
good.
okay. All righty. So, we got people joining here now. Anyway, you and I can talk later, Eric, if that's
Okay,
okay.
I'll mute and I'll shut off my video maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We got people coming on here. So, we'll get started. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, I want to apologize last week, everybody. And I know a lot of people tried to view in and tried to get the link afterwards. I have no idea what happened. It didn't even record it. So basically, I talked to myself for like 45 minutes or an hour, and I saw nobody coming on. I'm going, wow, this one was really unpopular. And then everybody emailed me and said, well, I'm not there and the recording's not there. So I said, okay, we're going to redo it this time. And so we're going to go ahead with this and welcome everybody. And we're going to go right into what we're doing on the share screen here so that we can get into it. Let's see. So this is the forgotten art that is magic and selling. And this is some stuff that a lot of people really miss. And, I try to cover all of those things. By the way, before I forget it, I'm going to put out a newsletter with some other nutritional stuff on it coming up here. So just be prepared for that. I'll put that out next week. Okay, let's see if I can get a little red light on there. Okay. Oh, look at that. Hey, everything's lit up. Okay, can everybody see the red dot in the presentation here? You can't see this? Oh, man. Okay, you can hear me, but you can't see what I have up. Is that correct? Okay, yes, you can hear me, or yes, you can see what I have up too. You can see the screen. Okay, good, good. Okay, you don't, Eric? Okay, well, we have somebody, David says he can see the screen with the red dot. So
it says Alan Bonebreak has started screen sharing, but I don't see anything on it. I'll try and get on YouTube and see what happens.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why you can't see it. David, or you're on Zoom, right? Okay, he's on Zoom, Eric. So supposedly you could see it on Zoom here. I'm not sure why you couldn't see it, but because at least one other person can, so I'm not real sure about that. Okay, well, just try and listen anyway. Okay, and Eric, you can't see the chat board either. You see the chat board, but you don't see the red dot with the printing on it. Okay, no red dot. Wow. Okay, Eric, they're saying to restart your Zoom and see if that works. Oh, you see it now, Eric? You see the screen with the printing on it? Okay. Okay. The forgotten art that's magic in selling. Now, basically, your only real limits are self-imposed. Okay. And I don't know how better to say it, but people respect confidence. And somebody who has totally nothing to say but are confident about it, people are going to follow them. And that's the sad truth about it. And what I want, for y'all to have is I want you to have something valuable so that they're following you for a good reason. And I have, there's really, oh, you got the Erics there. There you go. Okay. I don't know how better to say that. If you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you see all these people, they're heads of cults, and people follow them because they're confident and they act like they know what they're talking about. So they command people to follow them, basically. All right. So for one thing, you have to be confident. Now, this is where your limits are self-imposed, because you go out there, you may have a great product, but you're not showing confidence when you're doing it. So people are going, well, he's not real confident what he's doing. Why should I be confident? Can I see a yes on there for everybody that heard what I said? Do you really get this? Let me see you type in yeses on this. Now, fear and incentive are the two most common forms of motivation. So somebody's going to have a fear of loss or an incentive to gain. And those are very, very imperative. And you see religionists use that all the time. The fear of going to hell or the incentive of going to heaven. Okay. So here we have in your office with health, you have a fear of never getting rid of what you have, and therefore you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. And we talked in previous talks about that people don't really, the pain, the numbness, the tingling really aren't the big thing. It's what is that keeping them from doing? That's the big thing. So you have to not only get their symptoms, you got to say, what do you want to do that you can't do? And you have to appeal to that. And just for an example, you probably all had an older woman, and it's a grandmother, and she's saying, I just want to be able to get down on the floor and play with my grandkids and be able to get up again. And that's what she wants. Hers is a functional thing. She just can't get on the floor. She can't get up again. And so she's fearing that she can't get on that floor and play with her grandchildren. And so the incentive that you have to get to is, hey, I've helped a lot of people be able to do that. And so she's saying, oh, you have? Okay, so you are not so much saying, well, we got to find out what's causing that. But you have to appeal to and say, hey, I've helped a lot of people with that before. And most likely we can help you too. And that's what they're looking for. You got to kind of change your presentation in there. So fear is based on punishment. People who are its target learn to ignore the pressure, rebel against it, or walk away from it. Incentive is based upon like reward and appetite. So you have to promise a prize of some kind for a certain amount of effort. So they're basically paying you for the effort to get them where they want to go. And it doesn't matter, people buy cars, but why are they buying a car? Well, some people buy it because they want the image. They want to buy a Cadillac or a Mercedes Benz or whatever like that. But basically people buy a car because they want to get to the grocery store. They want to get to school. They're buying the car for travel. And that's the basic part of a car. They want a big enough car for the family that they have. Okay. And there was a salesman that I knew. He could really sell homes. And this one couple, they went through this whole agency and nobody could get anything. And the guy wanted a swimming pool and the woman wanted a bunch of trees. So he made it a point to find a home that had a pool and had a whole bunch of big trees around it. Everybody else was still trying to sell the house, but he was selling those other things. The house was kind of a secondary thought. Yeah, they wanted a nice house, 5 bedrooms, 4 baths, all that sort of thing. But the guy really wanted that lap pool so that he could swim. And the lady wanted that tree. So every time they tried to comment on the house, he says, yeah, but look at that pool. Man, that really gets you in shape. Yeah, you can go out there morning and night. It's heated. You can go in the winter. And wow, look at those trees. Aren't they beautiful? And they're year-round. They're evergreens. And aren't they beautiful? He stuck with those things that they said they wanted to go with the house. And he sold them when nobody else in the agency could. So you have to get at the true desire of the person. And the pain and the numbness and the tingling and lack of energy, yeah, that's part of the equation, but what is that keeping them from doing? That's the real crux. And you have to stay on that. That's the appetite, that's the reward. So you're promising them that prize of some kind for a certain amount of effort. Now, since the concrete needs and desires of people change constantly, incentive motivation is unstable and its results are unpredictable. Many or most depend on motivation. Now, motivation changes and it's kind of flirty and you're going, well, what are you talking about? Well, okay, let's look at those kind of things. The real thing that you need is inspiration, not motivation, okay? You're trying to motivate somebody to do something. Let's give you an example. Do you like being told to do anything? Put a yes or a no in the box. Let's see it in the chat box. Do you like being told what to do? Come on, type in the chat box here. Eric says, no, I don't like being told what to do. David, how about you? No. Okay, nobody likes being told what to do. So you're trying to motivate somebody to do something. You're going to get this pushback because they don't want anybody telling them what to do. Inspiration comes from within inside that person. So this inspiration to buy that home is that lap pool and the trees. It's not the home itself. Homes are homes are homes. And you want them kind of nice. You want the 5 bedrooms and 4 baths. Yeah, you can kind of fix those up, but they really wanted the lap pool and they really wanted the trees. So you got to concentrate on that. So that is their inspiration. You can't motivate them just to buy the home. You got to appeal to that inspiration that's in them, that's driving them. Motivation comes from without, inspiration comes from within. So you got to get to what's in the core of what they're really looking for. It results in a lasting change. Inspiration makes you tick. Now you can easily tell what it is. Now, my oldest son, Michael, growing up, he's real tall. Growing up, he's like 6'7" now. And he says, I want to be pro basketball player. I want to be a pro basketball player. So he gets up and he's like a senior in school. And I asked him, how often you pick up a basketball? And he said, well, 2 weeks before tryouts are each year. And he failed every time. Okay. And, and he never passed it. I said, how often do you read about basketball? And I'd given him books and magazines. He said, well, never. I think he opened the book I gave him on John Wooden, who won more collegiate championships than anybody. I think maybe he read a chapter or two and never opened it again. How often do you watch games? Never. I said, you're never going to be that. And he got really offended. He said, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I said, if you did, you'd be carrying a basketball around in school with you and dribbling between classes. You'd be reading every book that you could on form. You'd be practicing your dribbling. You'd be watching games all the time. He didn't do that. But I said, I really know what you want to do. And he said, well, what? And I said, you draw pictures all the time. Every spare minute, you're drawing something. I bet you draw in class. Every time we're together, we're driving in a car, I'm driving, I look over and you're drawing. I said, you want to be an artist? And he said, well, yeah, I really like that. So he became an artist. That really is what inspired him. You can look at somebody and you can tell what they really want because that's what they're doing all the time. That's what really in their core interests them. Okay. So I'm going to ask, what do you find that you really enjoy doing in practice? And a lot of people make a mistake in practice doing a lot of stuff that they really aren't motivated to do. Okay. And it's not that they don't need doing and all that, but they're just kind of directing anything in the wrong way. And so they're not really enjoying their practice. I mentor a lot of people, which we're going to talk about later. And I have this one doc right now, and he was really thankful. He's been with me for over a year. He's got a superb practice, over $1 million a year before ever I got a hold of him. And I started getting into the nitty gritty with him, not only showing him ways to help people in a better way and all that, but I started asking the really difficult questions. And it really started making him think. And he said, just in this last year, doing nothing that different except the suggestions that I gave him, his profitability doubled. Okay. Now you can get more people running in your practice and not making any more than you were making before, or you can really take a look at your practice and you can really increase the profitability. And there's a huge difference, real big difference in that. Okay. So why are you wasting effort on things that you really don't like doing? Enhance the things that you enjoy doing, and maybe work on the things that you don't enjoy so much. And you may find that as you get better at them, that you're going to enjoy more. And now you can enhance yourself more in that area and say, wow, okay, I'm going to really emphasize this. And your practice is going to naturally expand when you do that. So really go for the stuff that you enjoy doing, because believe me, patients can sense that. They sense that you, when you don't like doing, certain things, and you're not as good at doing them. They really get that. And it reflects on your practice too. Make that the epicenter of what you attract, and you're going to have a thriving practice. Now, we're going to get more into that in later talks. Okay. Now let's talk about attitude. Attitudes are habits formed through repeated exposure to ideas or behavior. Old attitudes can be changed by using the same fundamental learning process that formed them. In other words, spaced repetition. So what inspires you? This comes from within you. What are your strengths? Emphasize them. What are your weaknesses? Either avoid them entirely or work on them and improve them. I've had some docs that utterly detested so much certain things they didn't practice. I said, well, just stop doing them and refer those out to somebody who does them well. Okay, you don't have to do that in your practice. Now I have a diplomate, and I have 3 master's degrees, as well as, being chiropractic. People say, why didn't you put that into being an MD or an osteopath or something? I said, I don't want to do that. There's plenty to refer people to do that. I enjoy what I'm doing. So why do that? It made no sense to me. And so there's even a side benefit to doing that. So you pick an MD, you say, hey, I'm going to send people over that have this. You pick another chiropractor. Guess what? They're going to refer you cases that they're not so good at too. So you're losing nothing. Just say, hey, take this on this patient, fix it, send them back. Guess what? They're going to start sending you things that you're good at and say, fix this and send them back to me. I have a whole lot of that going on all the time. I have for decades. I really don't mind that. And a lot of those patients that you get for a couple of visits and fix those things, guess what? They're going to refer other people to you because they know you can do it, even though they're going to go back to that other doctor. Okay. And a lot of the people, I found that when I was early in practice, I started in a town where there were old chiropractors. There had been 3 chiropractic colleges there, and National came in and bought them out and closed them. Well, when I got stuck on something, I called these old chiropractors and I said, I have this patient with this in front of me, and you know how to take care of that? They say, well, yeah. I said, would you mind if I would refer a patient to you? Not at all. Would you mind if I would come and watch you treat them? Not at all. Now, I didn't really care if I lost that patient, but guess what? 98% of them stayed with me because they said, we like you, and now we know you know how to take care of that thing. So I lost nothing. I gained a lot by doing stuff like that. And you get a reputation. Hey, if you can't handle something, you're not afraid to send people to somebody who can handle it. And this really bolsters your practice doing this. Don't think that you're going to lose anything, because you're actually going to gain something. So you're going to gain from the people that are referred to you, because they're going to tell people, well, hey, Dr. So-and-so can handle this. So those people are going to come to you instead of that other doctor. And the people that stay with you after you refer them somewhere else, he's not afraid to refer to somebody else when he can't handle it. And like I said, 98% of those people come back. All of those things improve your practice. So don't look at that as being a negative whatsoever. rid yourself of the negative things in your office and your life. You know, there's a right and a wrong way to do things. When, let's say, you know, all of us have patients that, hey, Mr. Smith, Mrs. Jones called up and they're coming in, and you go, oh man, because every time they come in, it's a bummer, and everybody just, you know, it's just a bad deal when they come in. So basically, you want to get rid of them, but you want to be nice about it. So next time they come in, you have a copy of all the records there. You have a doctor that you want to send them to, and you have a transfer ready. And you say, Miss Jones, Mr. Smith, you know, we've come to the end of what I can do for you, and I'm glad we could help you this far, but I think from now on, this other doctor is going to be better for you because they're handling those things that I can't. So please, you know, sign this and we'll get the records over and you can start going over there now. I guarantee you, Miss Jones or Mr. Smith are going to want to come back to you in not that too long a time, simply because they like you so much. But you say, you know, I'm sorry, you know, it's like I said, I can't help you anymore. And I also guarantee that you're going to get a call from that other doctor. Why'd you send him to me? Why'd you send her to me? And then you say, well, because I remember the last one you sent to me. So we tend to get rid of people that have bad attitudes. And this is a real nice way to do it. And even those bad people, they will send you more people when you've referred them to that other person. Even though you've lost them, you didn't want to keep them anyway because they just were down there every time that they were in your office. But it ends up being a positive in two ways. They're going to you're going to get rid of them in a nice way, but they're also going to refer you more people because you did the right thing. So you fire patients with a bad attitude, fire staff that are dragging your office down. Now, you have to have a list of infractions, and you have a list of infractions that, hey, you know, you get 3 strikes and you're out. But the thing is, you got to make sure that you treat everybody equally. If you don't, then you're going to get in trouble with the unemployment office. Okay. So you got to stick to your guns. If somebody has a bad infraction, you write them up, you date it, you sign it, you have them date it and sign it. You're pointing it out to them. It's bad enough that it was an infraction. You have other things that a single infraction and you're fired. And you make them sign those sheets that they understand those things. For example, in the state of Texas here, you know, I've taught seminars here for 5 years. The attorney for the board, there's a whole list of sexual things that you're not to do, okay, that could jeopardize your license. He said, give this to all your staff, make them sign that also. For example, doing any of those things on that infraction sheet, one time you're out. Okay, you got to make them sign it. They understand that. And date it. Now, make sure that any of these things that have original signatures and dates on them, you don't leave them in their file in the office. You take the originals home. Okay, you leave a copy in their file. And the reason is there have been several doctors in the state, either they fired somebody and that person got mad at them, or the person got mad at him and left. Guess what? They took all those original papers and then they reported the doctor to the board. And the doctor got in trouble and got the license suspended. He didn't have the evidence that he did this stuff anymore. So always keep the originals at home, not in the employee's file. Keep a copy in the employee's file. So get rid of these staff that are dragging you down. Exclude people from your life that are doing nothing but putting you down or dragging you down. Every one of you have these in your lives. Some of them we got to kind of put up with, like mom or dad, but you know, you just kind of see them as little as possible, and then you feel really bad when they die. But you know, if all you get is criticized every time that you go over there, you talk to them or whatever, it's like slowly back out of their life, and you know, put up with them just as little as possible. Why should they ruin your life with their bad attitude? Okay. Now, you can't coach desire. Bill Bowerman, college coach of Steve Prefontaine, said this. His assistant coach said, you know, Prefontaine isn't the best runner out there, but yet he consistently beats everybody else. Why is that? And Bowerman said, well, you can't coach desire. This is this inspiration. What's driving you? What is driving you? Okay. And you can't coach that. You can't motivate that. In other words, that comes from within that person. Now, I can guide you, but you ultimately have to make decisions and act. And that action comes out of inspiration. It's got nothing to do. I can give you direction. That's coaching, for example, that's trying to motivate you. But if you aren't inspired from something from within yourself, that's going to fall on deaf ears. Now, what is the lost art that's magic in selling? Listening. Listening. All of us listen, but we don't, because we're actually concentrating on what we're going to say next. So you have to really sit down there and just listen, okay? And if you notice that your patient is just kind of blanking out on you, just stop. Now, I kind of got all of your attention by stopping, right? The patient, when you deadpan it, an audience, if you're speaking, I've given over 1,000 lectures. I learned this a long time ago in lectures. If I see that people are falling asleep, which they do often when I give lectures, those of you who've been in them, I stop and I go over and I stand in front of the person that's fallen asleep. And they kind of snap open awake and they notice that I'm standing right in front of them. I say, you know, you were snoring. Please don't snore. You're going to wake up the guy next to you over there. Okay. So I kind of make a joke out of it. But the thing is it caught everybody's attention. Don't be afraid to just stop. When you see that the patient isn't listening to you, it's because you're too busy talking and you're not listening to them. You want to just stop and say, okay, you know, tell me what's going on with you. Tell me what you really want me to know. And they're going to start spilling it to you. But you have to shut up for that to happen. And you really have to listen. And a lot of times it does not take very long at all. And that's the beauty of it. But they just need to get something off. And it's stuff that really is not in that initial patient case history form. Okay. And that's what you really need to know about it. What they want out of it. Yeah, I want to get rid of the pain, the numbness, tingling. I want the energy, but it's because I want to be able to interact with my grandchildren. I don't want to die in a home. I want to die at home. I want to die peaceful in my sleep. I don't want to languish in somewhere and slowly fade away, not being able to walk or talk or anything like that. I want you to keep me in shape so that I can do that. I want to be able to golf. I want to be able to bowl, whatever it is. Everybody has their own motivation. I'm sure just the things that I mentioned, you know, really strikes it up with every one of you right here. So you have to stop and you say, why are you really here? Why do you want to get rid of the pain? Why do you want to get rid of the numbness, the tingling? Then they're going to tell you their true fear, their true motivation, their true inspiration. Okay. Why are they in your office? Nobody comes in your office except that they're scared of something. They're frightened of something. They are fearful of something. Now you have to let them spill that so that you know how to speak to them from that point forward. Yeah, we need to get rid of this hip pain, Mr. Jones, so you can get out on the links again. Yeah, we got to get your foot and ankle better, Mrs. Smith, so you can get down there on that floor and play with your grandchildren so you can get up off the floor once you're down there again. Okay. Now, if you understand this, say yes in that chat box. Because I really want you to get this. This is so important. Come on, David Donaldson, you getting this? I need a yes in there. Okay, there we go. Okay. I think the other ones are on the phone. Stop for as long as it takes. Eventually, they're going to talk and tell you what you want to know. Just be direct with the question. Now, tell me why you're really here. Why is it, what is it that you really want out of this? And I would bet you that it's going to take less than 2 minutes for them to really tell you. And you say, oh, okay. Wow, you are in the right place. I've helped so many people with what you have. And, let's get started. Let's go for it here. Now we need to go back and do an exam and take x-rays. And that is so great. Stop in the middle of a word if necessary. If you see that they have phased you out, stop. You see that? I stopped in the middle of a word and all of a sudden you are paying attention again. That grabs people's attention right there. Most often they're going to tell you something that's on their minds that they would like to say. In fact, they won't pay attention to you until they get their 2 cents worth in. And this is what I really want. This is the art that is really lost in selling. People are so hell bent on selling, they don't make the sale because they fail to listen. And a lot of you are going through motions because you were taught this in practice management. You want to get the idea across. Oh, I can help this pain. I can help this thing over here. Well, let me tell you something. If your office is like mine, I've yet to run into anybody in a class who it isn't. Basically, people have already been failed on 10 or 12 times. They've heard that same story from everybody else. So why are they going to listen to you? Because everybody promised them that they were going to help, but they didn't. It's because you're really listening to them and you're listening to why they are really in your office. You're going to say, Mrs. Jones, wow, I am so glad you're here because I've helped so many people with just what you have. Now we need to get on with it and really help you. Is that okay, Miss Jones? Mr. Smith. Wow, that is such a big thing. And I've helped so many golfers before. And probably you were referred over here by a golfer, I think. And, let's get in here. Let's get that swing back in there. Let's get to where your ankle and your foot and your knee and your back aren't hurting anymore, your shoulder, so you can get out there on the links again. Now, if you wait long enough in that silence, the other person's going to break the silence. Learn to keep your big mouth shut until they say all that you need. Then when you can talk, you can be matter of fact instead of venturing because you actually heard what they wanted you to hear. Before then, you didn't hear anything. You presumed that they're here because of the back pain. You presumed that they're here because of the neck pain. And again, that's secondary. I want to be able to sleep. I can't sleep because of my neck pain. Y'all get that? I can't play the piano because of the pain in my fingers. Okay? As a young man, Benjamin Franklin reveled in telling people where they were wrong till they just start crossing the other side of the street to avoid him. I saw him coming. They go to the other side of the street. Then an old Quaker said to him, not too kindly, he told him, nobody wants to hear what you got to say. Then he became the wise Ben Franklin, and he started just listening, and he started saying, wow, I never thought of it that way. Gee whiz, had you ever thought of this too? And then he would throw his 2 cents in. He didn't try to force his idea on them. And when we wrongly presume that we know what they want, we are trying to force something on them. We're trying to tell them something when in fact they are wanting to tell us what they want us to do for them. That's why, and I covered this, in previous sessions. The average doctor will get like 10 calls. And of those 10, 7 or 8 will set an appointment. Of those, 7 or 8 will actually come in. And of those, maybe half of them actually go through all that you recommend. Okay. So what it actually happens, out of 10 people that call in, maybe 3 actually follow through. And you have to go through all of those different things. Okay. So you got to start at the very beginning. How do you get 9 out of 10 to actually set an appointment? 9 out of 10 of those to actually come in. 9 out of 10 of those to actually follow through with your recommendations. So now, instead of 3 out of 10 following through, now you got basically about 9 or 10 out of 10 that are actually following through with everything you ask them to do, because you followed the proper steps and you got every part of that. And we covered that, somewhat in the last couple of sessions. Abraham Lincoln made examples of individuals in local papers until one was so offended that he challenged Abe to a duel with pistols. Luckily, the seconds intervened and stopped it. Lincoln suddenly realized he was nearly killed by his impudence. He turned into the measured Lincoln that we've learned to love. And he learned that, wow, I can't force my opinion on the others because it's making enemies of them. And, that's why, Lincoln basically changed who he was, which is a really, really big deal. Now, okay, did everybody get everything that I was talking about there? Let's see if you did. Yes. David says yes. How about Eric? Yes. How about David Donaldson? David Donaldson, you still with us? You get it? Okay, I think so. That's good. Now, I want to bring up that I have films that I sell, and you can go to my website on those. We're just about to finish up the very last part of part 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to start filming part 4. And you can all get those. And until COVID's over, we're keeping it. We're keeping that at pre-publication price. Post-publication is $500 for a year's viewing. Pre-publication is $250. And so we rolled back just because of COVID to stay at the $250. So I would urge you to get those. And I can send you something with that on it. Now, I also do mentoring. Now, here, if you see on here are mentoring testimonials. And we have 4 different doctors that are showing, and I have several others. I got to put those up too. But here are 4 doctors. Most of these doctors have million-plus practices. We've taken people from 20,000, got them over 100,000, in the first 6 months. And, we can do the same with you if you're willing to take a little advice and change. We're not talking about big changes. First thing we want to do is we want to get you making 9 or 10 out of 10 of every 10 calls that come in and putting them into long-term patients. And guess what? Each one of them is going to refer somebody else. So basically what we're talking about is taking just the number of people that are calling in now for you, and that 3 out of 10 that you're getting to follow through, triple it. And in a short period of time, because we've shown you how to take that number, and guess what? They're going to refer somebody else in, and you've tripled again. So you're going to go from, say, 3 out of 10 to 9 or 10 out of 10, triple your practice, and they're going to refer people in. You're going to triple it again. And it's relatively easy to do. And I hope you consider it. And here we have Preeminence Mentoring, for that. And the preeminence mentoring is a good fit for everybody. We take people with super big practices and we make them enjoyable for you. There are a lot of people that have big practices that don't have a big take home. It's just like the one I was talking about. He doubled in just over a year. He actually doubled his profitability just doing what we told him. And, you know, that's a big deal at that level. And we take the smaller ones and we make them a lot bigger, you know, really quickly. And both from a how you can treat people, you know, to get better results, because, you know, I have my own method of teaching the seminars to get better results. And, but also, how do you talk to people? How do you talk to the people in your office? How do you hire people? How do you hire associates? How do you hire other employees? And, you know, there's a big response. And, you know, there's a lot of Scientology stuff going on out there. And I'm very aware of that. The stuff that I talk about is not Scientology. Most of those people who have the large practices like David Singer or Ulan, basically, they're big Scientologists. I'm not one of those. And I averaged 640 new patients a month, not a year, a month for several years. My practice grew by 1,700% right after 9/11, when everybody else's dropped by 30 to 50%, some up to 70%. Mine went up 1,700%. I show you how, hey, you can vault your practice no matter what it's in. And what it comes down to is, do you have what people want? Okay, people will pay for what they want. So you don't have to fear being in a cash practice versus insurance. You don't have to fear that, because people will pay for what they want. And we help you to realize that. So we increase your profitability. We increase the retention of people that just call in, and then we show you how to get more people calling in. So this program enables you to become top level. That's why we call it preeminent. Rapid, efficient patient response with scientific methodology found in medical literature. We show you how to become a nerve and biochemistry expert, how to get very, very quick results from the nervous system and from biochemistry. That's what my seminars are about. We do it in a very different way if you haven't taken any, you know, from other doctors. We show you how to get referrals from everywhere, get paid what you're worth, be low stress, have a better family time. I've seen people from all 50 states and 97 countries. There's no reason your practice can't be that way too. Because when you start getting these amazing results very quickly, people start telling everybody everywhere. And you get calls from all over the place. Others committed and changed their lives. Isn't it about time for you to do it too? Now imagine, just kind of close your eyes and imagine having the business of your dreams, smooth running, plenty of highly satisfied and enthusiastic patients, as many as you want, financial security, time to enjoy your family, time to exercise regularly, great health. Get rid of that stress. Have the things you've always wanted to have, okay? Now, 3 reasons preeminence mentoring works for you. Number 1, you'll devote effort, time, and dedication to get what you want. If you're not willing to do that, you know, just forget it. Charisma is not necessary. If any of you have had David Singer and Ulan and all them, man, they have wondrous things. I have people fall asleep in my seminars, folks, and I had these wondrous numbers. So if I can do it, you surely can, because I have no charisma. My wife listens to me giving seminars. She says, I don't know how you keep them awake, you know, literally, because I have no personality. My wife tells me that all the time, okay? So you don't need charisma to have a great practice. Group or one-on-one mentoring is very affordable. Your next step, commit to be superlative. Go to the link, ttapcenters.com, choose the mentoring level that fits you, and commit to change your life. Mentoring includes 12-month group mentoring. This is very, very inexpensive. $250 a month. It's like nothing. Okay. It's one person's first exam, and that's it. Or one payment of $2,500, which saves $500. Okay. About the group mentorship, you receive 1 year of 1 hour weekly real-time group interactive podcasts. So you're hearing questions that other doctors, it's going to be in a format like this, but everybody is asking questions. So you get to hear about their questions and the answers to them, and you get to ask your questions and get to yours. So it's an hour weekly, so 52 1 hours of group for a year. Typing questions you wish to be answered by me, ask questions, listen to answers for yours and those others posts. Step up your practice to the level that you want and desire. Up your income dramatically in accordance with the level of your commitment. Learn how to get paid for what you do. Get answers regarding how to run your practice in the most efficient manner possible. Think and reason quickly in any practice situation. Give talks that give a lot of new patients. I averaged 35 to 50 new patients just in weekly seminars that I gave. And most of them became patients right on the spot, okay? Don't ask patients for referrals and still get scads of them. Communicate in such a way as to draw referrals to you from all over the place. We show you how to testify in court and depositions, how to write narrative reports in the best manner possible. Situations are answered that solve your own situations. We show you how to best treat given conditions for quickest results right out of the seminars that I give. Now, if you want to change in the first 3 months, you can step up to a year of one-on-one mentorship. So it's just you and me talking. So you can do that in the first 3 months. So basically commit now to get your dream practice. You can also have a 6-month one-on-one mentoring, $1,000 a month for 6 months, or one payment of $4,000 saves you $2,000. We have several people that do that. Most of them, the first month or 2 or 3 months, they go up to the 1 year because they see the value in it. You receive 6 months of 1 hour mentoring per week directly with me, including anything in the group mentorship, all that stuff we mentioned, any aspect of your practice, how to treat any patient issue, how to communicate. This is at least as important as patient treatment if you want the practice of your dreams. You have access to notes from each of the 4 TTAP seminars. I'll cover what's at the top of your radar first before I suggest anything to you. You usually know where the weaknesses are in your practice. So we go right to where you sense that it is. And if you decide to go up to the 1 year mentorship in the first 3 months, you'll get all of its benefits. So commit now. All I'm asking you to do, hey, if you really want to change, commit now. Now is now. Later may never come. 12-month one-on-one mentorship. It's $1,000 a month, or one payment of $8,000, which you save $4,000. It includes all 4 films. So you get all of those for a year's viewing. You get a link on your website. As soon as these films are done, I have thousands and thousands of testimonials from doctors that have taken my seminars, both from things that have happened to them, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and on their patients. And basically, we're going to alphabetize those and put them on a link so that people can go to that link on your website and go straight through to it. And now it's not only you talking about it, you can say, hey, I took this nerve expertise and body chemistry expertise course. Oh my gosh, we can help all these things. They're going, yeah, doctor. But then you say, go on to the link, and they're going to see all of these hundreds and hundreds of hundreds on each one. And they're going to say, wow, maybe you can do it because all these other people are seeing these results. So when I put them on my website, what I found was that each one, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, I directed patients to them, and guess what? Part 1 caused patients to say, I didn't know you could help that. You know, I want to come in and get that. So 20 patients a month re-upped from each one of those parts. And then they referred people to look that they wanted to get in. And they're looking in there 20 new patients each a month. So you have 40 times 4, 160 patients a month just from seeing those links as I just described them. Half of those are from patients re-upping that didn't know that you could help those things. The others are new patients wanting to come in also. Doctor blog, we're going to have a doctor blog for each section. So we're going to start putting that in also. By the way, those links, if you don't want to become a mentor and mentoring, it's going to be $50 a month per each of those links, which each of those links are going to get you a lot. And, you know, $50 a month isn't going to be anything. Doctor blog, $50 a month for each course. So there's going to be 4 doctors' blogs. And you're going to be discussing with other doctors and interacting with them. And if you're all stuck on something, Dr. Bonebreak, what would you do? And I'll chime in there and say, well, hey, this is what I would do. Okay. And so, you know, so you have the interaction with the other doctors. They're going to come up with stuff that I didn't come up with. You're going to come up with stuff that I didn't come up with. And that's going to be on the blogs also. That's going to be normally $50 per month per each one of those as well. Now, the one-on-one, your mentorship, anything in the group mentorship, any aspect of your practice, treat any patient issue, how to communicate. You'll have access to notes from all the TTAP seminars. You'll have all 4 videos for a year's viewing in this one. You'll have up to 12 seminars online or in person. We're going to get these seminars online for CE hours too. Once we have them all made, we're going to get them out there for CE hours as well. So you can take them online or in person. You can have up to a dozen a year of those. I'll cover what's at the top of your radar first. I'll link you on the websites, you know, the testimonies, etc. You'll get a certification for each TTAPS part as you complete them that you can post on your wall. And that's going to look really good for you also, just like any other certification. Now, if you decide to stay another year, guess what? It's just half the price. So the first year is going to be $1,000 a month, or $8,000 in advance, say $4,000. Second year, cut that in half. And just about everybody wants that second half because they found so much value in it. So I'm just asking right now, hey, commit now to better the things that, you know, will get you what you want. Commit to your dream practice. I would submit that if you're watching this online, if you're looking at the reruns on it, there's something that you want changed in your practice. Maybe the mentoring's for you. Business results depend on effort and following directions. Lose your excuses and take consistent action to improve. If you'll do this, sign up. If not, please don't. I don't want anybody who's not going to commit to the changes that are necessary. I give you information and encouragement, but you're the one that has to take action to improve your life. Now, okay. Eric says, get them. They're full of information. Yeah, he's been to all my seminars and he's getting the films. So thank you, Eric. Where do we find these on your website? You go to each section, David. And so the TTAPS website and under Seminars Professional, you click on that and then it's going to show you the seminars. And it's going to ask for your name and your phone number. And beside each one, it says $395. You click on that after you've entered your name and your phone number. It's going to offer you like $395, $350 if you're a TCA member, $295, $250. That's for the seminars. We'll click on the $250 and just type in film, because it's going to ask you what location do you desire, and you type in film. You click on that 250 and then you just make that payment. Or you can just call me and we can do it live. So either one of those. Now, I'm open for questions. Who has questions on anything that we've covered today? Just type in. Who has questions? Does anybody have questions? Well, at least we got it recorded today. No questions at the moment. Great info and presentation. Thank you. Okay, how about David Donaldson? Do you have any questions about anything? I think we have a couple of you that are on the phone. Okay, Eric, I tried to get you on YouTube, couldn't get on. Okay. It should be on YouTube later, yes. It should have been live streaming. And I don't know, sometimes I've had a trouble with a couple of them, but it should have been live streaming. So anyway, it should be there. Okay, are there any other questions? We'll give 10 seconds. Thank you for the comments. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, thank you very much for attending. Eric, call me back so we can do that stuff that I was talking with you about. Thank you so much for coming. And we're going to have another one next week, okay, on a different topic. Thank you so much and have a good day.